I'm Sith for Life, and you're watching Krypton's Toy Vault. On today's video, we'll be going over all three of these DCUC Young Justice figure diorama 2-packs. Here's how they are all laid out. I'll take them each one by one, pull in the figures, look at the figures, look at the accessories, and once we're done with that, I'll pull in each of the dioramas, take a closer look at those. I'm going to start over here on the left with Aqualad or Caldur. Pull him in. This weapon out of the way. So I'm going to look at the figure itself. It is your pretty typical DCUC articulation with a thigh, bicep swivel. Sorry, brain fart. It goes all the way around. Single jointed elbows. They go about 90. The arm will go all the way around. It's a little creaky. It's been in a package for a very long time. Shoulders will go out to there, go down to there. Double jointed knees, that will go actually a hair past 90, even with the fin. Thigh swivel, and hinged feet. The face sculpt's decent. It doesn't really capture the cartoon very well, in my opinion. It's not as bad as it could be, but it's not as good as it could be either. The rest of the body is pretty good. The paint's good, the sculpt's good. He has gills on his neck, both sides. Paint's pretty slick. Little backpack looks great. Nothing much in the way of paint on the lower half. His belt's a little crooked, but meh. He comes with 7 weapons. This is one of the swords. Another sword. This one's got a little bit wider blade, more of a machete look to it. We got an axe. We have a hammer. We have a mace, a Morning Star, and then you may look at this and say, hey, wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right. They are cheating, and they are counting these 2 deactivated handles as weapons. I think it's kind of bogus to include those as weapons, but that's how they get to that 7 that they put on the packaging. They do fit on his backpack pretty well. Boom. And boom. They look good. No issues there. And they plug into his diorama. I'll show you that in a minute. But yeah, that's Caldur. He's decent. Not great. Not terrible. He's decent. Pull in Sportsmaster next. And this figure has got some good sculpt, good accessories. His movement's going to be a little more hindered with this shoulder pad here. But Still has a bicep swivel. Still has single jointed elbows that don't go quite to 90, at least on that side. Same on that side. This side, the bicep swivel won't go all the way around either. He's too muscular. He's too athletic. Shoulder will go all the way around though. Go back to there. Forward to there. Single jointed knees that go about 90. Diaphragm crunch, ab crunch, and waist swivel. He does have thigh swivels. They moved him down here. And hinged feet. He does come with some good weapons and accessories too. Face sculpt looks good. I like the paint on it. It's well done. He comes with the baseball bat that he's got in his hand. That's when I see him, that's what I think of. He's got, it fell down over here. He's got a boomerang, a spear, or javelin, I guess, to keep it sports themed. One nunchuck. It's pretty bendy. One and two throwing stars, and one and two throwing knives. The throwing knives look identical, and the throwing stars look identical. Both look good. So yeah, he comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 accessories, not counting his diorama, which is the best of the group. That's Sportsmaster. Get these out of the way. Pull in. Connor, Superboy. He is my favorite, for obvious reasons, my favorite character of Young Justice. I sure hope we get a new season. I know it won't happen, but a man can dream. I love that show. This is the only Superboy figure we got from this line, and it's the Project KR, like Project Cadmus outfit. It looks good for what it is. It's not. I would have loved to have seen a version of Connor in his jeans and t-shirt, but I do like this look. I think it's a good look, so I'm not complaining too much. He's got the same articulation. Elbows out to the shoulders out to there. His bicep swivel will go all the way around, and he gets a full 90 out of his single jointed elbow. Go all the way around for sure. He's got a better ball pivot for the neck than most. Ab crunch goes forward to there, back to there. Waist swivel. I was a little cautious about this. Oh, you can do past splits. I'm not going to do it to either one, just for caution. Thigh swivel. And single jointed knee was just about 90 with an ankle hinge. Pretty good ankle hinge. Not too bad there. Accessory wise, he comes with the least. He does come with this sledgehammer, which I don't remember him using, especially in Project Cadmus, but could be wrong. And actually a pretty decent little steel beam. It's even got a little bit of a reddish wash to it to make it look a little rusty. I do appreciate that. This is a lot better than the ones McFarlane gives you nowadays. Ugh. But I like that. I like that. It's not too bad. That said, he is Superboy. He doesn't really need accessories. It would have been cool to see him with a crypto or a wolf. Would have been nice, but it's, you know, not this version of Superman. Superboy, he hadn't had that stuff yet. But that's the 3 figures and their accessories. Now I will pull in each of the bases, the diorama pieces, and give them a little bit more close-up look. Starting in the same order, we got Calders here, Aqualad, and he's got this water pipe sitting in the corner with water coming up out of it. And this piece will rotate so you can change how he's posed, but this piece will plug into his little handle here like that, and then you can put the handle in his hand and have him pose like I had him in the opening of the video. It's pretty effective, and it does a really good job of holding him upright, because unlike the other two, this one doesn't have any peg for him to use to stand up properly. Not that these figures need it. DCUCs are usually pretty good about not falling down. This will also turn over here. But it doesn't do anything, it just turns, but it's got a good concrete texture to it. Got some cracks over here. I think a wash would bring this thing to life really well. And it's kind of interesting because they did the wash on a different one, but not on this one. So that's Calders. I'm going to go out of order. I'm going to bring in Superboy. So this one, like I said, this one has the wash. If that one had a wash, I think it would wake it up quite a bit. This is a good looking diorama piece. I don't really, you know, I just rewatched those first episodes the other day, and I don't remember anything quite like this in that show. But it looks good. It looks cool. It's well painted. These are like metallic metal flake almost, and each one looks pretty good. The arm in there looks pretty good, and wherever these little test tubes are, no complaints there. And this one has the best paint job by far of all of these. It's actually got a wash on the textures and makes it look a little dirtier, like it looks like concrete. Now, lastly, we have Sportsmaster, and it's a massive base, massive diorama piece. This little tree, I don't remember what these are called right now. I should have looked that up before the video. But these pop out, and you can move them around if you want. Put this one here or there. These panels snap together. See there? They snap, snap, snap. I guess if you really wanted to, you could buy a whole bunch of these and build out a massive diorama piece. But these don't snap to those, unfortunately. I'd hope they would, but they don't. No provisions for that. But then you got your weapons rack back here, and each of his weapons will sit on there pretty well. They do have a tendency to fall down if you jostle it too much, but once you got it set up, they kind of just stay there. And then the target, as you can see, has 3 holes in it that you can stick your throwing objects into, like a knife there. Knife. Kind of hard to do it one-handed. Throwing star, knife. The throwing stars have a little hole in the middle, Not really entirely sure what that's supposed to be for. I didn't see any way for it to like mount on him or anything. They may probably leftovers from a different use for these. But yeah, each one will fit into the little slots decently okay. So that's fun. You can change that up, put the knives in there, put the shurikens in there, and then he pegs into this one here. Or you can just have them freestanding, but that's how I have them set. Oh, yeah, see, they have a tendency to fall down. But yeah, that's the diorama pieces. He gets a big one that's got some pretty cool stuff. That one gets the cool paint job. And that one has a very unique way to make the figure stand up, and it's got some moving parts. So each one has its own benefit. I'm going to go ahead and pull the figures back out here without the diorama pieces, break out some other figures to see how they compare to some other figures that you might have in your collection. Be right back. Alright, here we have with the several other Mattel offerings of younger or sidekick type heroes. We have the DC Mattel Multiverse spoiler. We have the DCUC Superboy. I got him cheap because he's broken. Sad. And then we have the DC Superheroes Supergirl, specifically the white t-shirt variant. And not a single one of them looks out of place. They fit in together spectacularly. If you're trying to build out a set of sidekick display, or Young Justice display, Titans display, these guys are perfect. They fit in so well. It doesn't hurt that they're from one of the greatest DC animations we've had in the past 15 years. I am beyond ecstatic with these and the way they fit in. And lastly, we have him here with the DCUC Superman. They fit in great, no issues there. He could be a hair shorter, but this Superman's kind of got a knee bent there. Let's see if we can fix that real quick. There, a little bit better. A little bit better. There we go. Yeah, no issues there. Of course, they're all DCUC, they're all Mattel. They all fit in just fine. No surprises there. They look great. Alright, closing thoughts. I love these figures. I love this show that these figures come from. And I know I don't have the whole collection. I still gotta get the Batman, there's a Robin, and a Wally West. It's unfortunate we won't ever get the full team. I would have loved to have had a Mish Martian, Cheshire, Ra's al Ghul, some of the villains. We never got a good Arsenal or Speedy. We never got a good Zatanna. Zatanna would have been a great figure. A lot of the later episodes, we needed more of these figures from this line, and it's a pity that we will never have them. I do fully intend on getting the Batman, Robin, and Kid Flash, though. The 4-inch figures don't really interest me all that much. If they had been 5-inch, I do collect 5-inch. I do collect 6-inch. I do collect 6.5-inch. I don't really collect a whole lot in the way of 4-inch, so it doesn't really do me a whole lot of good. That said, these figures are great. They look great on the shelf. The biggest problem is trying to find a place for all the diorama pieces. I had to rearrange the entire collection to get them to fit, but they did eventually fit, and they look great, and I've got no complaints. Yeah, as far as these guys go, that's all I've got to say. I'm Sith for Life, and you've been watching Krypton's Toy Vault, and I thank you for watching.